Trump, but it doesn't exactly seem like his Republican colleagues are rallying to his defense.
Not in the least. If you could see my text messages from some of his current and former colleagues, I actually can't repeat what some of them say on morning television. And it's because he has not made himself popular with most of his colleagues. And again, we're talking about his fellow Republicans, John. We're talking about people who he has antagonized in the name of being, as beholden and as loyal to the former president, Donald Trump, as possible, in the name of being on conservative media, being on Fox News, being the darling of that. And the most striking example of that was after the number 3 in his own party leadership, Liz Cheney, voted her conscience, voted to impeach President Trump. He went to Wyoming and taunted her. He went to Wyoming and had a big rally. And look, that was certainly not the first time he made enemies out of people in his own Republican conference, but it was the most recent and certainly the most egregious in the eyes of many of them. And so that is the lack of reservoir of goodwill that he has at a time where he really needs it because of all of the allegations that we have been reporting on.
Nia-Malia, I appreciate Dana's delicate touch with morning television, though with sex, drugs, payments, we've crossed the Rubicon, I feel, of morning TV this morning.
Fair point.
Liz Cheney, how's she feeling this morning? I mean, to Dana's point, there has to be a little schadenfreude happening because Matt Gaetz has been such a flamethrower even to people in his own party.
He has been. He is in very many ways from the buffoon wing of the Republican Party. He's a conspiracy theorist. He obviously likes the cameras more than he likes actually doing his day job and forming alliances with his fellow colleagues. You heard Kevin McCarthy responding to these allegations and saying if they prove true, he would remove him from committees. One person who has come out to support him, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think Jim Jordan also came out to support him. So, those are sort of his bedfellows at this point, but you've certainly not heard a chorus of support for him, given these allegations, which are quite serious, quite damning, and we'll see where they go. We've seen a response from him, an absolute denial of most of the allegations that are made, but with each passing day, it seems like there's more information to come out as these reporters really dig into these allegations in this FBI investigation.
So, Dana, Nia-Malia just mentioned the buffoon wing of the Republican Party, which frankly has been fairly bulletproof in recent years, at least when it comes to the base. But we have an extraordinary new excerpts from John Boehner's upcoming book, published in Politico, in which he really addresses how this problem in the Republican Party predates President Trump. And I want to read you just one excerpt that gets to the heart of the power of the buffoon wing. He says, these guys wanted 100% every time. In fact, I don't think that would satisfy them because they don't really want legislative victories. They wanted wedge issues and conspiracies and crusades. A lot of them just wanted to blow up Washington. That's why they thought they were elected. Obviously, that's a huge condemnation from a former Speaker of the House to the base of his political party that has led to people like Matt Gaetz. What's your take?
That's exactly right. I mean, he is talking about what happened when he became Speaker with the help of the Tea Party. And he talks in that extraordinary excerpt. You're exactly right. I mean, this book is going to be remarkable. He talked about the fact that so many people who were elected didn't understand how Washington and legislating worked, didn't care when he talked to them. He said it went in one ear, out the other. And it is so apt and so timely, given the fact that it has only gotten worse, only gotten more intense, and that dynamic has become so consuming of the Republican Party. And when I say that dynamic, it is playing to not just the cameras, but playing to the conservative base and conservative media. And bringing it back to where we started the conversation, Matt Gaetz is, at this point, Exhibit A of that kind of person. As you use the word buffoonery. I mean, I think John Boehner uses words that are even more
anatomical,
illustrative of what he's trying to put across. And that's what I'm hearing from people about Matt Gaetz, that they feel that These are Republicans that he just wants to be on TV. He wants to be a conservative media darling, and he doesn't have a huge appetite for legislating.
Yes, and that you need a conduit to the cameras. And John Boehner, in his book, nia-malia, talks about the Fox News channel and how he watched it get more extreme and fringy and conspiratorial and paranoid. I mean, he just lays it right out about how Roger Ailes was just becoming more paranoid after 2008, and how Fox, he talks about the homegrown talent and what they were doing at FNC. Besides the homegrown talent at Fox, with their choice of guests, they were making people who used to be fringe characters into powerful media stars. One of the first prototypes out of their laboratory was a woman named Michelle Bachmann.
And the biggest media star out of Fox News was Donald Trump. Remember, right? He was the one who was going on Fox News early on to test drive some of his messaging, but to also to borrow from Fox News. You know, we kind of think of Donald Trump as a sui generis figure, as somebody who kind of felt where the base was. He was really, kind of borrowing what he was hearing on Fox News and knew that that resonated given the kind of ratings that Fox News was able to amass among a certain segment of the population. So we talk, about Matt Gaetz, we talk about Michelle Bachmann, but Donald Trump is right in league with those folks. A conspiracy theorist, was a fringe political figure for many years before he ran for president in 2016 and obviously won. So, I think Fox News brought us sort of the apex of the buffoon wing of the Republican Party in Donald Trump. He was sort of the head of that, and now you have the Republican Party dealing with that identity crisis. Who are they? Are they the party of Matt Gaetz? Are they still the